Hello, guys. Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Well, good evening now. How are you tonight?
Hello, teacher. I'm doing so great. Thank you so much for asking. What about yourself?
Hello, John. Thank you so much for asking. I am good. I am very happy to be here to start a new week. I know Mondays are hard sometimes, but it's a new week and it's a great way to start, right?
Yes, teacher. I'm glad that you're okay, that you're fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking. What about you guys? What about the rest? How is everything? What's going on? How was the weekend? Did you do anything fun over the weekend? How was it? No sabe, no responde. Yes, no. How was the weekend, guys?
Hi, teacher. Was fantastic.
Hello. Good. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. And welcome everyone. Remember that saying hello doesn't take anything away from you. Recordemos que saludar no nos quita absolutamente nada. And just that, keep in mind that, guys. So let's start. Today it's February the 6th, is our fourth class. Remember to start working on Moodle because you will have only until when do we finish? We finish on the 14th. So we have maximum to the 14th to finish with that. I mean, maybe I can give you like an extra day. Maybe I can give you like until the 15th at like 6 p.m. or so, because I need to upload your grades. Mis queridos chicos, recuerden Moodle, ¿ok? Recuerden que Moodle siempre se les habilita a partir de la tercera clase, entre tercera y cuarta clase, ¿ok? Ustedes esto ya lo saben, Moodle no cambia, ustedes ya saben que todos los ciclos Moodle se les habilita. So, es importante que empiecen a trabajar en esta plataforma, ¿ok? Nuevamente, no les voy a pedir que trabajen en todos los ejercicios porque entiendo que muchos de ustedes trabajan durante el día y luego clase de 6 a 10. So, no quiero darles como una carga mucho más de pronto pesada. However, sin embargo, es importante sí que trabajemos en todos los ejercicios, al menos los dos primeros, at least the two first activities, ¿ok? Al menos los dos primeros ejercicios de cada unidad, tal cual hicimos el ciclo pasado. Here we have Diana Lozada and Sarai. You guys are the new students. Ustedes son las nuevas estudiantes. No sé si tienen conocimiento de cómo Moodle funciona. Hay un instructivo en la carpeta Google Drive, yo les compartí, de cómo acceder a Moodle. ¿Okay? En Moodle ustedes encuentran actividades extra de práctica de los temas del libro. ¿Okay? Yo les pido a ustedes que trabajen al menos dos actividades. Ahora, si yo les dije que las dos primeras actividades, sin embargo, si por ejemplo hay una actividad de la unidad, let's say, de la unidad 9, y a ustedes les llama la atención las dos últimas actividades porque son de listening y no las dos primeras porque de pronto son de reading y quieren más bien hacerlas de listening, go ahead, ¿ok? Pueden hacerlas las que ustedes quieran, pero al menos dos, at least two, al menos dos de cada unidad, ¿ok? Las dos primeras, las dos del medio, las dos finales, right? Ahora, si ustedes tienen la posibilidad de trabajar todas las actividades, wonderful, ¿ok? Wonderful, awesome. Yes, Daniela, you're raising your hand. Yes, Daniela. I see that you have your mic on, but I cannot hear you. Veo que tienes micrófono encendido, pero no te logro escuchar. I cannot hear you. or you can try on the chat, yes. Okay, you don't know how to access Moodle. Okay, so give me 1 second and then I will show you how to access. It's very easy. Yeah, it's don't worry. Let's check it right now. Let's check it right now. Here. Here. Instructivo para acceder a Moodle. Here está en esta carpeta. I will share it again. I will share the link with you again. Okay. Here there is something that says instructivo para acceder a Moodle. Vamos a la dirección web. Ustedes acá con este instructivo, con este PDF, pueden incluso darle clic y esto los lleva directamente a la plataforma de la WIS, right? Aquí tienen para darle clic, que los va a direccionar de una vez. Les va a aparecer algo así como aparece en pantalla, donde dice aula virtual de aprendizaje, pregrado, posgrado y PRED, Instituto de Lenguas. Si ustedes son estudiantes activos de la universidad, de pregrado, de posgrado o de IPRED, deben sí o sí ingresar con Instituto de Lenguas, ¿ok? Porque ahí es donde les va a aparecer los cursos en los que ustedes están matriculados, que son del Instituto de Lenguas, ¿ok? Entonces, cuando ustedes le dan a clic en Instituto de Lenguas, les va a aparecer algo así que dice aula virtual. Hold on, voy a tratar de hacerlo más grande. Here. Ingrese al aula virtual. El nombre de usuario y la contraseña, tanto el nombre de usuario como la contraseña, es el número de cédula de cada uno de ustedes. Tarjeta de identidad no, porque pues ustedes son ya mayores de edad todos, entonces sí o sí debe ser con la cédula en el cual usted se registró en el Instituto de Lenguas. Por ejemplo, su cédula es 19 39 28 74. Tanto en usuario como en contraseña es el mismo número y antes del número deben poner la E de estudiante, ¿ok? Entonces, E 1099, 1098, 1005, bueno, and so on and so forth. La contraseña es el mismo usuario, le dan en iniciar sesión y les va a aparecer pues los cursos. Listo, ahí mis cursos y ahí es donde ustedes ingresan a las actividades. Les va a aparecer los diferentes módulos. ¿No te sirve todavía, Daniela? Ok. Try, intenta, voy a comentarle a la coordinadora. No sé si de pronto tú, como eres estudiante nueva, si ya el ingeniero encargado de Moodle realizó pues la inscripción de la inscripción tuya. De pronto sí, de pronto no, voy a revisar, le voy a preguntar a la coordinadora, ¿listo? Pero tú vas a tener acceso a él. Yes, Stephanie, you're raising your hands.
Teacher, hello. I have
Hello.
a question about the final project. It's possible that can we have a feedback about the final project of the past cycle? Because
I am sending, I have, yes, I have been sending feedback to some of the projects since there are like many projects and time is really short. I'm still working on the feedback on some of you. I will for sure give you feedback. I will for sure give you feedback this week, okay? Over this week.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, of course. So guys, here when you start Moodle, cuando ustedes ingresan a Moodle, va a aparecer uno que es training. Si ustedes son nuevos en la plataforma de Moodle, es obligatorio que lo realicen porque van a aprender cómo se utiliza Moodle. Moodle a veces es un poco cansón con el tema de las mayúsculas, de los puntos y demás. Entonces es importante realizar el training. Ingresan módulo 1, bueno, ahí les va a aparecer los módulos que ustedes van a ver este ciclo. Sarai, ok, Sarai y Daniela, que son las nuevas estudiantes, voy a preguntarle a la coordinadora a ver si ya se realizó la gestión con el ingeniero encargado de Moodle, pero a ustedes ya les debe aparecer. Si no les aparece ahorita, hoy o en estos momentos, en el transcurso de estos días, muy seguramente ya les aparecerá el acceso. Okay, good. Okay, guys. So yes, Angelica, you're raising your hand.
Yes, teacher, I have a question about the Moodle. The groups of the Moodle is B1.3, yes? Or no?
B1.3, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. B1.3, okay, para trabajar en las actividades B1.3, and then les va a aparecer los módulos, yes. And then you can, yes.
Sorry, teacher. No, I asking too about the activities in the less is 2 or 4 unit or more.
At least 2 activities per unit, at least 2 activities, okay? So for example, let's say that this is module 8, for example, and then you have listening, days of the week, vocabulary, well, grammar patterns about that unit. We say to work at least on 2 activities. Dijimos que trabajar al menos en 2 actividades. Al menos trabajar en 2 actividades, right? Ustedes deciden si realizan las 2 primeras, las 2 del medio, las 2 finales, right? Las que de pronto más les llaman la atención trabajar, that's great. Si las pueden hacer todas, wonderful, okay? Wonderful. Pero si solamente por el tiempo pueden trabajar en 2, ustedes escogen cuáles 2 actividades realizan, okay? And then yo les califico sobre esas actividades que ustedes trabajaron. Okay. Is there any questions about this, guys? Questions, doubts? No, no questions. All righty. So let's start. Yes, Daniel. Yes.
There are our classmates waiting for start in our class.
No, I already gave him the access. Yes, he was in the waiting room, but since I was sharing my screen, I didn't realize that he was waiting, but now I gave him the access to the class. Thank you. Thank you very much, Daniela. Good. So guys, we're going to start with the warming up activity. It's a board game that is called The World is Changing. We're going to work on pages 98 and 99, and then we're going to finish with a speaking activity that is fortune telling. So let's get started. We are going to begin with the board game, which means that I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. So this game, we are only going to play it for like 10 minutes. We are not going to have time to, like fully or deeply work on the game because, otherwise we're not going to have time to do all the activities that we have for today. So this is a board game that one of you is going to share a screen, and then we are going to have 3 people in each of the groups, okay? So 3 people. It's going to be star 1, star 2, star 3. You are going to give your thoughts about each of these categories. So for example, you are going to be the first player. So player number 1 starts in 1. Player number 2 starts in the second one. Player number 3 starts in the third one, right? And then you need to answer, or you need to give your ideas about these topics, right? According to what you think. Maybe like giving some predictions, or maybe giving your concerns about that topic. For example, if you are player number 1, then you start here. And then you need to start in, you need to go from these ones that are connected. Ustedes deben ir en las que van conectadas. Si ustedes son el player number 1, no pueden iniciar con, for example, quality of life. No, you need to start with the ones that are connected, las que están conectaditas, okay? So you can talk about ecology or salary or parks, sports, right? Pueden iniciar con college, salary, parts, or sports, que son las primeras que están conectadas acá. And then if you, for example, go to salary, if you begin with salaries, then you can talk about small cars, la siguiente ronda. It could be about small cars or sushi or travel or food, right? Or health, okay? And then you're going to answer some questions. And then player number 2, jugador número 2. Okay, you start here. So you can begin with technology or pet or productivity or conflict. Con estas 4 primeras puede arrancar porque son las que están conectaditas. Okay? And then si escogen conflict, okay, la siguiente, it will be work or quality of life or tobacco or productivity and so on, okay? Lo mismo con player number 3. And then, for example, if you start with salary, you can say, oh, salaries in some countries are steadily getting worse, or salaries in Colombia are getting worse and money is not enough, and then the salaries are, the minimum wage is not enough for us to have, you know, like the minimum stipend or the basics and so on. So you can give your ideas, your thoughts about those topics using, for example, go up or increase or expand or rise, improve, get better, go down, decrease. These are synonyms for improving. So go up, increasing, expanding, rising, improving, getting better. Now the opposite, go down, decrease, fall, decline, getting worse, deteriorate, slightly, slowly, steadily, sharply, dramatically, rapidly, okay? So you're going to play this board game, and then you don't need dices here, no necesitan un dado, you don't need dices, and then you're just going to give your opinion, your ideas. Is it clear, guys?
No, teacher, sorry, I can't listen very well.
Okay, I'm going to explain again. I am going to send you to the breakout rooms. Los voy a enviar a los grupitos de trabajo, to the breakout rooms. I'm going to give you 10 minutes, 12 minutes. It's not going to be a long game. You are going to play in, each group is going to have 3 people. Cada uno de los grupitos va a tener 3 personas, okay? Maybe some of you will have like 4, tal vez algunos sean de 4, pero la mayoría será de 3. And then, for example, I am in the group with Angelica, John, and me. Angelica Sandoval, John Carrero, and me. So I'm going to be player number 1. If I'm player number 1, I start here. Si yo soy jugadora número 1, empiezo aquí, start 1. Angelica, you're going to be player number 2. You start here, start 2. And then John is going to be player number 3. He starts on 3. So it's my turn, es mi turno. I choose, debo escoger las que ven pegaditas a el start 1. Voy a iniciar con ecology, salary, parks, or sports. Okay. No puedo iniciar con social media porque no está conectada directamente a mi punto de partida, right? And then if I begin with salary, I'm going to give my opinion about salary. It could be about Colombia or it could be about the world. You decide. It could be about Colombia, it could be about the world. And then you, Angelica, I finish, yo termino, you're player number 2. So Angelica, you go with technology or pets or productivity or conflict, que son las que están conectadas directamente a star number 2. Let's say, digamos que tú empiezas con pets. Okay, so you say, oh, people are having more pets nowadays, or people are, or young people prefer to have pets instead of kids, for example. You can give your opinion about that. Listo, ¿qué hace en pets? Ahora, la siguiente ronda, puedes hablar sobre conflict or tobacco, which are the ones that are connected, las que están conectadas directamente, okay? And then, finaliza tu turno, John starts, John empieza. John can start talking about magazines or immigration or yoga, right? Que son las que están conectadas a star number 3, okay? And that's it. You guys are going to talk about what you think. You're going to give your opinion. You can use this. Pueden utilizar esas palabras para hablar de crecimiento o lo contrario, like go up or go down, increase, decrease, expand, fall, rise, decline, improve, get worse, get better, deteriorate, and so on. Is it clear now, guys? It's just a speaking activity.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
teacher.
Yes, is
yes,
it
teacher,
clear?
thank you.
Okay, very good. Of course. So I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. Now, one of you is going to share a screen. You have the access to share a screen. Now, the question is, where can I find this? ¿Dónde lo pueden encontrar? Well, in the Google Drive folder. En la carpetica Google Drive. Está aquí. ¿Listo? In the Google Drive folder, I'm going to share it again. I'm going to share it again. And then I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. And then when we finish the game, I'm going to call the attendance. No ha llamado la asistencia. We'll do it after you come back from the game. Okay, so I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. You will have 10 to 12 minutes for the game. Only 10 to 12 minutes. So 4, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. There is going to be one group of 2. Who is Zoom user? Who are you? Can you rename yourself? Zoom user? Oh, he or she left. So Christian Albarracín, I'm going to send you to another group. In that group, there will be 4 people. Okay, there will be 4 people. So Christian, you decide if you want to be number 1, number 2, or number 3. En el grupito de Cristian Albarracín, vamos a tener 4 personas. Ya ustedes, Cristian, tú escoges cuál quiere ser. If either 1, 2, or 3. Please join.
Teacher, could you put this device in this room 3, please?
Oh, okay. You're connected twice, so let me share.
Yes,
You are Diana.
Daniela.
Sorry, Daniela in group number 2. And then I'm going to send Christian to that other group, to room number 3. Oh no. Yes, now you can join the other group. Brian, please join your group. Group number, I think it's number 2. Let me check. Room number 3, Andrea Vaca and Natalie Perez. You are only 2 people. I am going to send another person to this group, okay? Give me 1 second. Daniela, I gave you the access to join the second group because last time I couldn't. I don't know why. Did not send you to the other group. But you now can join group number 2. And then room 3. Daniela, could you join the second group? Hello. So I'm going to send you to the second group.
Ok, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Listo, muchas gracias.
Of course.
My grandfather used to smoke tobacco.
Okay. In Colombia, a few days ago, governments announced expanded a new tax.
Ujú.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, guys.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. So I'm just checking. So you can start.
Ok.
Entonces creo que empieza ahora ya.
Okay. Um, it's about whatever what I want to talk.
Yeah. Are you player number one, number two, or number three?
Okay. I'm going to talk about sports.
Okay, hold on. Okay, Brian. Brian, you are player number one, number two, or number three?
He is number one.
Number one. Oh, okay. Yes, you can start with ecology or salary or parks or sports. So you will start with the sports.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
If you want to improve your skills playing sports, you have to train every week.
Okay, now I'm gonna talk about conflict, and I think right now in the world or in these times are the conflict increase, like Russia and Ukraine and president. Every country has more conflict year in this year.
Very good. Excellent.
About television, and I think that for these times, the outings on television.
Okay, guys, so what's going on? Mayra, Luisa, and Andres?
Hi, teacher.
Hello, what's going on?
My partners, they didn't answer me. So
Oh,
yeah,
uh,
that-
okay. Well, Mayra, Andres. Luisa is waiting for you.
yeah, teacher.
Yeah. Yes. Why are you guys, why aren't you guys doing the activity? Mayra, Andres. Okay. But still, you guys can, one person can share a screen and then you guys can participate. At least you can let your partner know that you cannot talk at the moment because you're busy doing something. But if she's asking you, she's calling you, well, at least you can let her know what's going on. Yeah, sure. That's good. And what about Maida? Maida, if you didn't understand the activity, you could have asked me and I would have been more than happy to explain the activity again if you didn't understand it. The activity is pretty simple. It's pretty simple. So you had to talk about one of these topics. Let's say, Maida, that you are player number 3. You are player number 3 because Luisa is player number 1, Andres is player number 2. So you are player number 3, right? So Luisa starts, she starts talking about one of these topics.
Yeah, teacher.
One of this, either ecology or salary or parks or sports.
I do salary.
Okay, so, well, Luisa gives her opinion about salary. Okay, good. Then Andres, which is the second person in the group, or the second player, talks about either technology or productivity or conflicts or pets. Deben estar conectadas directamente con el start number 2. Andrés cannot answer, for example, transportation. Not yet, todavía no, porque si empieza acá, pues transportation no está conectado directamente, right? So debe iniciar solamente con los que están conectados directly. Technology, pets, productivity, or conflicts. When Andrés finishes, cuando Andrés termine, you Mayra, you continue. Vas tú. You are player number 3. Ahora, can you start, for example, with small cards? No, you can't. Can you start with architecture? No, you can't. You can only talk about magazines, immigration, or yoga. Solamente estos 3 que son las que están conectadas directamente. You give your opinion. That's tu opinion. For example, you can talk about immigration. So you give your thoughts. You say, okay, immigration is this and this and this. This is my opinion, and so on and so forth. That's it. Y eso es todo. Now I have to go to the main session. Debo ir a la sesión principal porque hay personas que debo enviarlas a los grupos de trabajo. So I hope it's clear. Espero que ya esta vez haya quedado más claro.
Profe, debemos utilizar todas las palabritas de abajo, o sea, en cada
No,
una.
not necessarily. No, necessarily. No, necessarily. It was just for you to you know, like, to give you an idea.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay, of course. So Andres Alvarez, you are in group number, is this group number what?
Number 4, teacher.
Number 4.
Thank you.
Group number 4, so I'm going to switch to group number 4. Okay. Brian, what's
Teacher,
your... Yes.
I am in the wrong group.
What do you mean? You're in the wrong group.
Yes, I was in the group number 3.
Oh, you were in group number 3, and then what happened?
accidentally I went out.
Oh, okay.
I
So-
closed the application and went out.
Okay, don't worry. You can join now.
Thank you.
Of course.
Cuatro. Hi, teacher.
Is that
Mm.
Spanish? What I heard?
Como
Is
siete.
that Spanish? Okay, how are you guys doing? Good?
Good, teacher. We are trying to speak English.
Okay. So I'm going to let you play and then I'll be visiting all the groups. If you need me, you can call me, okay?
Okay.
Yes, teacher, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
The money they found, I forgot how to say cobrar.
What you mean
Well,
cobrar?
The get is for
Experience that we are going to experience some travel to the space. So that is something that is going to change, or that is changing right now in our world.
I'm going to talk about exercise. I think
Alrighty, very good, guys. How was the activity? How was it?
Was good. Was good, but classmates like there are doesn't didn't have more option because phones the partner the other partner.
So they met in the game
Yes.
and they could okay. But the idea was for all of you to have the chance to give your opinion about different topics and how the world is changing, how some things are improving or getting better, or some others getting worse and decreasing and so on. So that was the idea, because we in our session today, we're going to be talking about different things and about giving predictions and so on. So it's going to be a very interesting class. So I'm going to call the attendance before we continue, otherwise I will forget. Acevedo Cuevas Saray.
Present, teacher.
Álvarez Becerra Andrés.
I'm here, teacher.
Ayala Viloria Joeli.
Here, teacher.
Vaca Jain Andrea.
Present, teacher.
Carrero Bonilla John Hammer.
Present, teacher.
Okay, sorry, I forgot to name Cárdenas Flores Gilbert. Gilbert. Cordero Castellanos Brian Miguel.
Hello, teacher.
Good. Córdoba Miranda Stephanie.
Hi, teacher, present.
Good, great. Durán Ardila Silvia Alejandra.
Present, teacher.
Great, awesome. Liscano Ariza Judy Lisette. Judy. Judy is not here. Wow, she never misses a class. Judy muy viciosa con su asistencia, pero hoy no está. Wow, that's surprising. Paredes Marín, I'm sorry, Lozada Díaz Diana Lisette.
Hi, teacher, I'm here.
Good, awesome. Paredes Marín Luisa Fernanda.
Present, teacher.
Great. Pérez Quintero Luisa Fernanda.
Present, teacher.
Awesome. Plat Pinzón Linares Mayra Juliet.
Present, teacher.
Good. Hold on. So Diana Lisette, you're here, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, okay. Good. Mayra Juliet is here. Plata Vargas Mayra Alejandra.
Here, teacher.
Great, awesome. Rodríguez Llorente Harold David.
Hi, teacher.
Okay, Harold, good. You're so quiet today. The first time I hear your voice tonight. Sandoval Miranda Angélica Stephanie.
Hi, teacher, I'm here.
Good, great. Sierra Jaimes Daniela Fernanda.
Hi, teacher.
Great. Velasco Uribe Ana María.
Hi, teacher. Present.
Awesome. Vera Peña Jennifer Jimena.
Here, teacher.
Great. Pérez Ardila Natalie Joanna.
Here, teacher.
Awesome. Albarracín Caballero Cristian.
Here, teacher.
Lozada Uribe Daniela.
Present, teacher.
Excellent. Very good, guys. So now let's continue. We are going to open our books. And we are going to page 98 and page 99. So we are going to begin with the language focus, that is making predictions. Before we start, we are going to read 5. We're going to read 5 more Ray Kurzweil predictions for things that will happen by 2029. So that will be in 6 years from now, in 6 years time, that it will be 2029, which do you think will happen? So let's read number 1. It says, there will be intelligent roads and driverless cars. Human beings will not be allowed to drive without computer assistance. Do you think that will happen or not by 2029? Or do you think that already happens?
Yes, it's already happening.
Somehow,
the smart cars and the Teslas.
The Tesla cars, exactly. So that is something that it's currently happening. With the thing about, well, I wouldn't say intelligent roads. I think we still don't have intelligent roads, but there are some cars that I don't know if Tesla, if you don't need a driver for Tesla, I don't know, maybe I have no idea about cars, but I don't know if with Tesla cars you don't need a driver. I don't know. Once I watched a video that it was, I think in Japan or China, I'm not sure which country it was, but there was a guy that he called kind of like an Uber or a taxi there, and then a car picked him up, and the car with no driver
yes, it's possible in the US. Some cars do these things.
Yeah, exactly, which is crazy here in Colombia because we don't have that kind of technology yet. But this is definitely something that already exists. This is something that already happens in our world right now about driverless cars. And I don't know about intelligent roads. I don't know. I wouldn't say that we have intelligent roads. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Who knows? And human beings will not be allowed to drive with a computer assistance. I mean, not particularly happening right now, but for sure, we need some computer assistance. Call it Google Maps or maps that you use in your car in order to guide you to go from one place to the other. There are some cars that stop the car, or there are some cars that have something in their systems that make you stop whenever you're getting closer and closer and closer to something or someone or another car. So that kind of computer assistance we already have in cars. What about the second one, or letter B? Tiny cameras implanted in our eyes will record everything we see. Do you think by 2029 this will be possible?
I think
yes.
no, it will be possible.
No. Some of you say no, it's impossible. Some of you are like, yes, that will happen.
But there is it's very near to this year, so maybe in future, but not 29.
But not in the near future. Yeah, maybe that's something that will happen in a couple of years, not necessarily in 2029, not in 6 years, but maybe in like 10 or 20 or 30 years, maybe. What about most communications will be between humans and machines, not between humans?
Not in 2029, but yeah.
Yeah, not in 6 years. Not in 6 years, probably. I think that we never know. If you think about it, guys, let's say that 10 years ago, we didn't have WhatsApp, right? We didn't have that kind of technology. And then if you wanted to speak to another person that was living in another part of the world, you will need to call him or her It was very expensive because I remember that my dad used to live outside of the country, and whenever I wanted to speak to my dad, it would take me like, it was very expensive. It was very, very, very expensive. And then it wasn't easy. And I remember that I was maybe like 14 or 13 years old. I am 27. So it wasn't 15 years ago. And then you would never think of seeing the other person using your cameras, like FaceTiming. That 15 years ago, that would sound like crazy, like, oh, no way, like that's not possible. How can you even see a person that is miles away, kilometers away, that is living in other countries?
Teacher,
Yes.
even less than that time,
Mhm.
because people who didn't have iPhones or
Mhm.
Apple couldn't do it that or couldn't do that, right?
Yeah.
So I remember that in 2013 when WhatsApp came, sorry.
Uh-huh.
So when WhatsApp started, so that didn't happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that
they
wasn't at the
came
beginning of
before.
WhatsApp. It was just
Yes.
texting, and that's it. And then I think it was like it gave you the
Messenger,
option.
no?
With
Yeah,
the
it was
with the
only
BlackBerry.
Because in 2013,
uh-huh.
no, this WhatsApp.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
WhatsApp is new.
Yeah, WhatsApp is not, it's not like an old app. Yeah, for sure it's not. But at the beginning it was just texting and that's it. And then I think that the new version, or after many other versions, you could call someone, and then FaceTiming, that it was possible, video facing somebody. And then my dad, he sometimes he goes to live to other countries. And when I think about it, how different it was when he left the first time when I was 11 or 12, or like 12 or 13, something like that. And when I wanted to speak to my dad, I had to find a place where they would, call people from other countries, and it was very expensive. And it was just like a 5-minute call, and that's it, because it was very expensive. And now it's free. You don't have
The
to pay
signal
for that.
is bad. It was bad.
Yeah, and then now if I want to see my dad, I FaceTime him, and it's for free. And that is something that is new. So this is something that you never happen. You never know, sorry, you never know what's going to happen in 10 years time, or in 15, or in 5 years time. So when we talk about tiny cameras implanted in our eyes, we'll record everything we see. Right now we see that as impossible. We're like, well, not impossible, but we're like, well, it's not going to happen in 6 years time. But we never know. We never know. So we will see what happens. We go with letter D. Poverty and disease will be almost non-existent. What do you think?
I don't think so, teacher, because with the climate changing all the time, I think that deforestation and all these situations that we are living now, it's because we don't take care of the earth. And that's the reason why we can find a lot of virus around. So I don't think that in the future you are not going to find any illness.
Yeah. Now
I think that is the opposite. More and more illness will appear.
Yeah, I also agree. Think about how coronavirus changed our lives. This is something that you would have never thought about. It's like, oh, wearing masks, and then all this thing about that happened with coronavirus and so on. It was something that we were not prepared for, and of course we were not expecting that to happen. But we never know. And then more viruses and more illnesses are coming and coming and coming, even though technology is like like there are a lot of scientists and so on working every day harder and harder to find the cures for diseases and so on. But I think that puberty and disease will not be non-existent or will not be like done or over.
Unless now, because society is divided. Divided. Exactly.
Yeah.
And poor is more poor and rich is more rich.
Yes, that's for sure. So by 2029, this is not going to be possible. Like, no, this one is no way. And what about the last one? Robots will say they're alive and demand the same rights as humans. What do you think?
But I think that
that-
it's possible, but not too soon, because the 2029 is in 6 years, so
Yeah,
it's pretty
it's
close.
only 6 years away. Yeah.
But I mean, robots are not so common right now, so I think they probably in the 2030 they are going to be with us, but no, they are no, I don't know how to say that, living in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
Like could probably happen in 100 years.
Okay. So probably we will not be alive when that happens. Because if you're talking about like 100-year time, then
no us, but you know, now after the COVID-19, I think
yeah. Okay. Have you guys heard about, well, I don't know the name of these robots. There are a couple of them they look like humans, and they look very similar to a human being, and I don't remember the names.
Android?
I think, and they look very similar to a person, but there are robots. Have you ever heard about them?
Something in Instagram. Don't you see that that profiles on
Yeah, they're
Instagram?
yeah.
Very similar to human beings.
Yeah,
humans,
exactly.
they are
And then
really-
and
yes,
then you ask them questions and then they reply and so on. I think that it's impossible that they have feelings because they're robots and technology is not, you cannot give a robot feelings. For sure, there is a big difference between them and us because we're human beings, but it's crazy to think about how similar they are to us, and then they can have a conversation and they can answer questions and so on, and physically they're like very similar to a human being. It's crazy, it's scary, but we'll see what happens in a couple of years, or in like 10 or 20 years. We never know what's going to happen. So guys, we're going to listen to 5 people giving their reactions to their predictions, to these 5 predictions, and we're going to complete the table below. You're going to work in your books, and then the first person is discussing about the prediction with the letter C, that is most communication will be between humans and machines, not between humans. So you are going to answer what the person say. If they think it will happen, yes, no, or maybe. You're going to write yes, you're going to write no, or you're going to write maybe, and then a reason that they mentioned for that. Okay, let's say that the second speaker talks about A, for example, there will be intelligent roads and driverless cars. Human beings will not be allowed to drive without computer assistance. You will write letter A here. Do they think it will happen? Yes, no, or maybe. If they say that it will happen, then you write yes here and a reason that they mentioned, and so on. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay, I will repeat the exercise again. You're going to listen to 5 people talking and giving their reaction to these 5 predictions here. These 5 predictions that we were just talking about. So there is an example here, and it's the first speaker. He or she, we'll see, we'll find out, talks about this prediction. Letter C, that is, most communication will be between humans and machines. He or she or they think this will not happen, and then we need to find out the reason. Then we're going to listen to a second speaker talking about this or this or this or this. So we're going to write the letter of the prediction here, if you think that it will happen or not, and then a reason, okay? So we're going to listen and complete the exercise in your books.
Unit 10, Recording 3. 1.
Well, it's an interesting idea, but in my opinion, it isn't very likely to happen. Not by 2029. I mean, people like talking to other people. Who wants to talk to a machine? When I talk, I need someone to listen to me, to understand me, and to, I don't know, feel happy for me or sad for me. Machines may well sound like humans at some point in the future. They may even look like humans, but we're unlikely to have a cup of coffee and a chat with them. You know, they're just machines. So no, I don't think that will happen. I could be wrong, of course, but I doubt it.
2.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, why not? Everything gets smaller and smaller. That's progress. Think about the first mobile phones. They were huge. Now they're tiny. You can have one in a watch. Cameras are the same. So, by 2029, I think they'll almost certainly be small enough to fit inside a human eye. They'll probably send all the images to a tiny hard disk somewhere in your pocket or on your clothes, and everything will be saved. We'll probably spend the second half of our lives looking at the pictures from the first half, you know, when we were young and healthy.
3.
By 2029? Are you joking? About half the world lives on less than $2 a day. 700 people die from hunger every hour. Not every day, every hour. 1.5 million people a year die from AIDS. The problems are huge, they're enormous. And this guy, Kurzweil thinks that everything is going to change by 2029? No way! Poverty probably won't disappear by 2099, so things definitely won't change by 2029.
4.
Yeah, actually, I think that probably will happen. I mean, I don't know when, but I think it's very likely that we'll have driverless cars one day. It seems quite logical to me. And it makes sense to have computers in cars that stop you from speeding or driving dangerously. It seems like a pretty good idea. So, yeah, it may well be the law one day that you have to have a computer in your car to control the speed or whatever.
5. They'll do what? By 2029? No, I don't think so. You see, humans have new ideas, strong emotions, things like that. Robots don't. They're unlikely to ever write books or enjoy films or things like that. They don't want to be treated like us because robots don't have wants. Only humans have wants. Of course, I may well be wrong, but I think it's unlikely. I used to have a little Tamagotchi. Do you remember those? I kept it in my pocket and I had to remember to press some buttons sometimes to feed it. And if I forgot, it would beep a lot and then die. It was a present. Such a stupid thing. Mine died after 2 days. I wasn't sad at all. Anyway, it pretended it was alive, but it wasn't. It was just a machine.
Alrighty, guys. Do you need to listen to the recording again?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Alrighty, let's listen to it again.
Unit 10, Recording 3. 1.
Well, it's an interesting idea, but in my opinion, it isn't very likely to happen. Not by 2029. I mean, people like talking to other people. Who wants to talk to a machine? When I talk, I need someone to listen to me, to understand me, and to, I don't know, feel happy for me or sad for me. Machines may well sound like humans at some point in the future. They may even look like humans, but we're unlikely to have a cup of coffee and a chat with them. You know, they're just machines. So no, I don't think that will happen. I could be wrong, of course, but I doubt it.
2.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, why not? Everything gets smaller and smaller. That's progress. Think about the first mobile phones. They were huge. Now they're tiny. You can have one in a watch. Cameras are the same. So, by 2029, I think they'll almost certainly be small enough to fit inside a human eye. They'll probably send all the images to a tiny hard disk somewhere in your pocket or on your clothes, and everything will be saved. We'll probably spend the second half of our lives looking at the pictures from the first half, you know, when we were young and healthy.
3.
By 2029? Are you joking? About half the world lives on less than $2 a day. 700 people die from hunger every hour. Not every day, every hour. 1.5 million people a year die from AIDS. The problems are huge, they're enormous. And this guy, Kurzweil thinks that everything is going to change by 2029? No way! Poverty probably won't disappear by 2099, so things definitely won't change by 2029.
4.
Yeah, actually, I think that probably will happen. I mean, I don't know when, but I think it's very likely that we'll have driverless cars one day. It seems quite logical to me. And it makes sense to have computers in cars that stop you from speeding or driving dangerously. It seems like a pretty good idea. So, yeah, it may well be the law one day that you have to have a computer in your car to control the speed or whatever.
5. They'll do what? By 2029? No, I don't think so. You see, humans have new ideas, strong emotions, things like that. Robots don't. They're unlikely to ever write books or enjoy films or things like that. They don't want to be treated like us because robots don't have wants. Only humans have wants. Of course, I may well be wrong, but I think it's unlikely. I used to have a little Tamagotchi. Do you remember those? I kept it in my pocket and I had to remember to press some buttons sometimes to feed it. And if I forgot, it would beep a lot and then die. It was a present. Such a stupid thing. Mine died after 2 days. I wasn't sad at all. Anyway, it pretended it was alive, but it wasn't. It was just a machine.
Alrighty, guys, very good. So let's take a look at the 5 people talking and giving their reaction. So the first person, he talks about the first one, the letter C, that is most communication will be between humans and machines, not between humans. He said that it's not likely to happen. What was his reason to say that?
People are talking with other people who can listen and understand the conversations, and machines don't.
Yeah, so machines can't listen or understand. And also, what did he say? He says that when he talks, he wants someone that feels happy.
Feel happy.
Yeah, when he says something.
That understand his feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And then he said that they don't have feelings. So he says that this is not possible because, well, they don't have feelings, and then they can't listen or understand. Good. What about the second person? What does the second person talks about? What prediction?
B. About cameras.
B. What was does she say that it's possible or not?
Yes,
It's possible.
Yes, it's possible. What does she say?
She said that because everything is smaller and more smaller. Why not? And finally said that we will return to young and healthy.
Yes, very good. And she says that the first mobile phones, what does she say about the first mobile phones?
They were huge.
They were huge, very good. The first mobile phones were huge.
In a pocket, not carrying.
And now everything
Are tiny.
Yes, everything gets smaller.
Tiny.
Smaller.
And she said that it will be nice to have that.
Yes. So she said that
Recording like every moment.
To record every moment. Yes. Very good, Maida. Excellent job. What about the third person? What does he or she say about the prediction? Which prediction?
The poverty and disease.
Poverty and disease will be almost non-existent. Yes or no?
No.
No. Why?
Because she says it's a huge and enormous problem.
Yes. Excellent.
Think about the proportion of the
people.
Yeah, and the people died because can eat and some problem of this.
Excellent. So she said that this is such a big problem, and poverty probably won't. Let me write here. Poverty won't probably disappear. And then she says a year. Did you hear that?
Yes, but she says that 700 die for hungry every day. And like
every hour.
Yeah.
Yes, every hour. And
yes.
100, I don't know, 1 million die.
Yeah, so she says that poverty won't disappear. Poverty probably.
I thought that 2029.
2099 by probably. Yeah, she said that by 2029 not possible, probably by 2099. That means in like 100, well, less than 100 years, but like in 2099 probably will poverty disappear. Probably. What about number 4? What does he or she talk about?
A.
Very good. What does he or she think that it will happen? Yes, no, or maybe?
Yes.
What does she say or he say?
Percentage.
Yep. What does she say about this one? About
control speed.
So it makes sense to have computers in cars that what?
Control.
That control, yes. Or that stop.
Like can prevent, like
yeah, stop you from speeding. Or driving dangerously. Yeah. So
But
she said,
teacher, that not is a prediction. It's not true.
yeah, exactly. It is true now. This is what we were saying, that this is not a prediction that will happen by 2029. It already exists. This is something that is true, that we already have that kind of technology. There are cars that stop you from hitting or from speeding, and there are also driverless cars. They already exist. So for sure it's happening. And the last one, guys. Well, the last prediction is robots will say, yes, they are alive and demand the same rights as humans. Yes or no?
Yes.
Nope.
No.
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 No, sorry. No, because they don't have, it's like the like the ones.
Yeah, exactly.
The
He
reason
says
is
that.
like the one.
Yeah, so machines don't have
emotion, ideas, and they have work.
Yeah, they don't have wants, and machines are not alive. And then he says something about a game. What did he mention? What was the game? What's the game? That it used to live in his pocket. Do you remember?
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. What does he say about Tamagotchis?
He is died about 2 days before.
2 days later, he had that, right? He said that he used to have a Tamagotchi and they only demanded to be fed, and that's it. And then you could control it with a button. And then if you didn't control that Tamagotchi, they will die. And then he says that machines don't have wants and they're not alive, so it's not possible that for him that they are alive and demand the same rights as humans. Okay, guys, very, very, very good. Did you take notes from this? Can I erase this part?
Yes.
Yes. Can I?
Yes.
Yes. Can I erase this part? Okay. So we are going to continue. And we're going to take a look at this grammar part, because we're talking about predictions, and it's important, this part here, this grammar explanation. When you make predictions, there are different ways of showing how sure you are. Adverbs with will and won't, we need to take a look at the word order, teniendo en cuenta el orden, right? For example, it will probably happen before then. So we have here affirmative or negative. It will probably, when we say it'll or it will.
Affirmative.
Affirmative, right? So let's take a look at the adverb. The adverb, do we place the order before or after? Before or after?
But before or after of what? The sentence or the
subject? The before, after, will or won't in affirmative. Where did we place the adverb?
After.
After, right? After will, or after will in this case. So it will probably happen before then. And then let's take a look at the sentence number 2. Computers definitely won't become smarter than humans. Is this a negative or an affirmative sentence?
Negative.
Negative. And then where did we place the adverb? ¿Dónde pusimos el adverb? Before or after? Before, right? So we need to take a look at the word order, because they have an order. So if the affirmative, if the sentence is affirmative, then we place the adverb like probably or definitely. We place it after will. And then if it is negative, like won't, we place it before. Okay, good. We have models to also express or to make predictions. That is, let's take a look at this sentence. Machines might well look like human sins. What is the meaning of might well? Have you ever heard about may well? What is the meaning?
No, similar. ¿Lo harán bien?
Sorry. Sorry, what do you say? No? Okay. Okay, yeah, it is likely to happen. So let me create here a note. When you say may well or might well, it means that if you say that something will, or something might well, sorry. It means, or you mean that it is likely to happen.
It's like very probable.
Yes, it is likely to happen. Exactly. So might well, when we say this, machines might well look like humans soon. So this might well is like a synonym of it is likely to happen. Quiere decir que las probabilidades de que sucedan son altas. It is when something is likely to happen or very likely to happen, quiere decir que en un grado de certeza, pues es un grado pues alto, ¿cierto? De que algo suceda, de que algo se lleve a cabo. So, esa expresión may well, quiere decir, o es un sinónimo de it is likely to happen. Quiere decir que la probabilidad es possible and probable. La probabilidad es posible. Okay. Now, might not. Change might not come as fast as we think. So we can also use these models to express probability. Recordemos que tenemos para expresar probabilidades en futuro will, may, and might. Will, may, and might. And then it is likely or unlikely to. That means in affirmative. Let's make or let's have this example. It is very likely, or it isn't very likely that we'll have driverless cars. Quiere decir que es muy posible. It is very likely. O sea, la probabilidad es muy alta. It is very likely that we'll have those kind of cars, que tengamos carros que no requieran de conductores. O si ustedes dicen, no way, no es posible. So it isn't very likely, pues lo hacemos en negativa. Quiere decir que no es posible o las probabilidades de que no sucedan, pues son altas, right? Or we are likely or unlikely to have a cup of coffee with the robots. Probablemente no sea posible que vayamos algún día a tomar café con un robot. It's not possible because they do not have feelings. And some people say that they cannot hear. They are just machines that they respond to commands. Ellos responden a comandos, but some people say that they cannot hear or they cannot understand us very well. So we are unlikely or likely to have a cup of coffee with a robot. Yes, somebody was trying to say something.
I don't know the rest of the motion, but technically we can program a machine to feel fear.
Oh, really?
In some point of the 90s, by the end of the 90s, some researchers find that what we feel, what we interpret as fear, is not too different when we are stressed in certain kind of stress. Neither us, we are able to get a difference between those things.
Oh.
So when we see a thriller, when we saw a thriller, and they put in like an environment where you're going to feel very, very stressed.
Yeah.
That all the chemistry in your brain is gonna work exactly like you were in fear of something, like you're frightened by something. So
Yeah.
technically, at least fear. I don't know the rest
At
of it.
least, but maybe
At least fear.
but that's a big step. If you think about it, that's a big step. And then if there are robots that feel fear, then at some point in the future they may always may feel love or anger or happiness. Like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy to even think about it. It's scary. For me, it's scary. But maybe that will happen in 40-year time. I don't think it's gonna happen soon. I don't think so. But maybe they will have feelings in the future at some point. We'll see. Okay. So we are going to finish this part about giving opinions and predictions with we're going to put the words or phrases in the best place on the line to show how sure we are that prediction will happen. So if we are sure that this prediction will happen, then we will use will definitely. That means definitivamente sucederá. Right? Es cuando estamos seguros de que algo va a suceder. For example, let's say that we are in winter, estamos en invierno, for example, and ha estado lloviendo, it has been raining a lot and a lot and a lot, and we check the weather forecasts, vemos el clima, the weather forecasts, and it shows that it will rain. Miramos el cielo y decimos, oh wow, it will definitely rain. Definitivamente va a llover porque estoy segura de que esto va a suceder. And then we're not sure, cuando no estamos seguros, we say, well, cuando estamos seguros de que no va a suceder, definitely won't. Okay, this is definitely won't happen by 2029. For example, flying cars que vuelen, probably by 2029 or by 2030, that definitely won't happen because I don't think so, but maybe they will. Tal vez sí, tal vez no, right? Yo digo que de pronto no. By 2029, I don't think so. Maybe many years later, they will exist. We'll see. So we're going to organize this in the line to show how sure we are that the prediction will happen. So we have will probably, will almost certainly, is or are likely to, could or may well, probably won't, almost certainly won't, is or are unlikely to, and may or might not. So we have 8 empty spaces, tenemos 8 espacios, and then we have 8 words, 8 palabritas acá, okay? So I'm going to give you some minutes for you to organize your phrases or your words, and then we'll check, okay? Take account this part. Miremos esta parte que siempre se repite, que después de la afirmativa, will, utilizamos el adverbio. Cuando es negativa, utilizamos antes de la negativa, you see? Probably won't, almost certainly won't, and then aquí es afirmativa, will probably después, will almost certainly, siempre después. Okay, guys? So let's organize this and we will check it. Is it clear? ¿Está claro? Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
Okay, so please organize it and then we'll check it. Ya lo revisamos. Por favor, trabajando individual.
Teacher, sorry. Can you
Yes.
remove the...
Oh, this part? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, I was said pencil, I don't know.
The highlight and so on. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Okay, finish.
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay. Okay, let's check. 100% is will definitely. Then what will be next?
Will almost certain.
Will almost certainly. Okay, very good. Will almost certainly. Then the next one.
Will probably.
Will probably, yes. So I'm going to write the numbers here. Let me just write it here. So number one will be will almost certainly. Let me make it.
Is or are likely to.
Will probably, number two. Number three, is or are likely to, yes?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay,
Yes,
number
teacher.
three. Number four.
May well.
May well or
Well.
could well. Number four. Number five.
Might.
May or might not. Yes, number five. What is the difference between may and might, guys?
The verb.
That is written differently, que se escribe diferente. But in terms of probability, what is the meaning of that? Or is it the same?
I think might is something more probable and might is something more possible.
Okay, okay. So let me tell you something. May and might are, when we are talking about predictions, it is basically the same. Algunas personas dicen, no, que es que el may es más probabilidad de que suceda y el might que es menos. Well, not necessarily, not necesariamente. Ambos me indican probabilidad en el futuro, right? Que hay menos probabilidades que el will, yes, claramente lo estamos viendo. However, may es más formal en escritura y el might es más común en speaking, okay? So, en speaking or in conversations es mucho más común utilizar el might y el may en escritura, okay? That is the difference. Esa básicamente es la diferencia. Not like a big difference, but That's it. Okay, next one. What will be number 6?
Is or are
Likely.
Is or unlikely to.
Yes, is or are unlikely to. That will be number 6. Number 7.
Probably won't.
Probably won't. And number 8. Almost certainly won't. And now the last one, that is, definitely won't. Definitely won't. Sería definitivamente no. Definitely won't. Okay, guys. I had another activity for you, but we're not going to have time to do it right now because it's 7:40 and then we only have 5 minutes. So we will do that tomorrow. Mañana lo hacemos en clase. However, we're going to finish with this part. It was like visiting the fortune teller. Esa era la actividad que tenía para hoy, visiting the fortune teller. However, we're not gonna have time to do it. So we are going to, I'm going to give you some homework. I'm going to give you some homework that tomorrow we will talk about it. And that is in these parts. That is practice on page 91. No, page 99, sorry, page 99. You are going to look at the predictions below and give your opinion on each one. You are going to use phrases from the grammar box and add by and a year if you think it will happen in a certain year. For example, by 2045, para el 2045, by 2045. Utilizamos el by y el año si queremos añadir una probabilidad de que algo suceda en cierto año. Okay? For example, tablets, computers will replace books. I think tablet computers will almost certainly replace books by 2030. Si queremos añadir el año, utilizamos el by y pues el año. We'll buy everything online. What is your prediction? Do you think this is true? Well, it is true, right? Right now it is true. But we will buy everything online. Pero que todo se haga de manera virtual. Do you think it will happen? ¿Creen que va a suceder? Y si sí, pues ¿en qué año? People will live to the age of 150. So you say, oh no, that is that definitely won't happen. Definitivamente eso no va a suceder. And then you can give one opinion. Computers will become more intelligent than humans and so on. So you are going to do this exercise and then tomorrow we'll check it. And then tomorrow we'll play the activity that I had for today because we didn't have time to do it. And then that's it, guys. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
And then guys, you can also take a look at this vocabulary about life expectancy. What is it? Vamos a revisar el significado. What's the meaning of the words or phrases that you don't understand? So in the last 50 years, life expectancy has decreased or has increased. What do you think? ¿Cuál creen? Average income. Oh, no sé qué significa average income. Okay, voy a buscar. What is the meaning of average income? Okay, now, has risen or has fallen? Después de que lo busquemos, ustedes sepan qué significa. Ustedes pueden dar como su opinión si eso ha mejorado o lo contrario. The amount of free time we have, healthcare and education, living standards, and our levels of happiness. So you're going to do practice exercise 1A and 1A from vocabulary. Okay, and that's it, guys. And thank you very much for coming, for joining today. Now you can go and rest. Tienen 15 minuticos para descansar. And then se unen a las 8 con la profe Marín, okay? Thank you very much for joining tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, guys. Take care.
Bye,
Bye,
teacher.
teacher.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Take care.